Those were the scenes and the reports from this week from Boulder, Colorado, and from Canada. Disturbing reminders that anti-Semitism today is not just a matter of words, but of violence and fear, even on North American streets. And these latest events are part of a much wider pattern we've been tracking, one that's raising serious questions around the world about rising hate, misinformation, and the very meaning of Jewish identity and safety in 2025. To help us make sense of it all, we're joined now by Yisrael Ne'eman, a respected historian and lecturer at the Technion, whose insight on anti-Semitism and the ideology driving it brings clarity to today's most urgent headlines. Yisrael is known for his nonpartisan, deeply historical approach, and his work with the Neman Academy focuses on exactly these kinds of issues. Yisrael, it's great to have you back with us.
Thank you very much.
So just when you thought that you knew everything about anti-Semitism, here comes October 7th. Can you explain why this is of great concern, not just for Israelis and Jews, but also for the wider community?
Okay. Anti-Semitism is a threat to the very fundamentals of democratic society. Acceptance, freedom of expression, and meritocracy. All are threatened, whoever you are. Anti-Semitism adopts like a chameleon and is just as poisonous in any of its facades. After World War II, liberals and your center-left condemned anything that even had a hint of anti-Semitism. But nowadays, with political correctness and wokeism, words of old are turned on their head. It's doublespeak. Look at the socialist parties in the UK, Canada, Australia, and elsewhere. If you don't adhere to their agenda, you're purged. They just look like the former Soviet Union. That's what we have. The Jews are the litmus test. If anti-Semitism is allowed to continue, others will be persecuted as well. Liberal socialist culture is destroying its own value system.
Now, the past few weeks have seen a wave of high-profile anti-Semitic attacks. We've seen the one in Colorado. We've seen the double murder in D.C. And unfortunately, there are many other incidents all over. What can we learn from these incidents? What should we be concerned about?
Okay, history teaches us anti-Semitism is never just about the Jews. It's a warning sign that society is under threat. Look, just last month, 2 employees at the Israeli embassy were gunned down in cold blood in Washington outside the Jewish Museum. One of them was born a Christian. The shooter was from a far-left extremist anti-capitalist group. However, in his logic, Israelis and Jews are legitimate targets for his violent hatred. Take a look at the UK. Leading sports figure, Gary Lineker, went on an anti-Israel tirade using images of rats. These are the same exact symbols that the Nazis used when persecuting the Jews. Today, anti-Semites will stop at nothing. Unfortunately, we can expect more attacks like what happened in Washington and in Boulder, Colorado. So does academia protest? Obviously not. When jihadi petrodollars are funding Harvard, Oxford, and higher education throughout the West. Since October 7th, anti-Semites are sending a clear message. We're no longer hiding. We're here to destroy democratic values and freedoms, and we reject pluralism. Accepting Jews is the ultimate in pluralism.
Now, and I always at least try to end on a somewhat positive note. Please tell us about the hope here. What can be done about this?
Okay. So what can be done? 1, vigilance, determination, and education. When the truth is twisted, violence is excused, nobody is safe. Not Jews, not Christians, not democracy. Anti-Semitism has always existed in democratic societies. However, now it's part of mainstream discourse. If not treated, this societal infection can be fatal. For those who want to take action, we at the Neman Academy have 2 courses. 1 on exposing the Islamic jihad agenda. Another examines anti-Semitism and how it's been acceptable and what we can do. Be part of the solution. Thank you.
Yisrael Ne'eman, thank you very much.